When you hear the name Adolf Hitler, you probably think of war, hatred, and destruction. But what if I told you that long before he became one of history's most feared dictators, Hitler had aspirations of becoming an artist? In his late teens and early 20s, Hitler was just a struggling young man in Vienna, with ambitions of becoming a painter. Twice he applied to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, and twice he was rejected. The Academy saw potential in his architectural drawings but felt he lacked the creativity and emotion needed for true artistic success. This rejection would be a turning point, not just for him, but ultimately for the world. Between 1908 and 1913, Hitler produced numerous pieces depicting Vienna's architecture, selling them to tourists and Jewish art dealers. His focus was meticulous and almost mathematical. Art critics who later analyzed these works noted they were technically precise but emotionally barren. It's as if he was more interested in cold, inanimate structures than in the life and vibrancy around them. One of his more detailed pieces is the Vienna State Opera House. At first glance, it's a well-executed depiction, but there's a certain rigidity to it. The Opera House appears as a static monument rather than a place filled with art and culture. Not all his paintings were rigid architectural studies. Some of his landscapes reveal an effort to capture nature, trees, mountains, rivers, but even in these scenes, his perspective is distant, almost as if observing from afar. The few human figures that do appear are mere outlines, lacking detail or character. It's a strange irony that Hitler, a man who would eventually exert control over millions, seemed unable or unwilling to capture human emotion in his art. After his second rejection, Hitler spiraled into resentment and poverty. Some historians believe these failures seeded the bitterness that would later fuel his hate-filled ideology. He blamed various groups, including the art establishment, intellectuals, and particularly Jewish people, for his misfortunes. In his later writings, he would often express anger at the cultural elites who had denied him, further cementing a view of the world that justified his later atrocities. There's a bitter irony in Hitler's obsession with architecture and preservation in his art. The same man who was once devoted to capturing Europe's buildings on canvas would later be responsible for their destruction on an unprecedented scale. Cities across Europe, once sources of inspiration for his art, would be bombed, burned, and reduced to rubble as his ambitions turned from artistic aspirations to brutal conquest. Hitler's story is a cautionary one. It's a reminder of how the darkest ambitions can sometimes stem from seemingly benign dreams. A young man's rejection in art became fuel for hatred, a desire to be accepted transformed into a thirst for control. Though his dreams of becoming a renowned artist never materialized, Hitler's artwork remains a haunting reminder of a different path his life might have taken, a path that never led to war, genocide, and suffering. In his own words, he once said, "I am an artist, not a politician." But history, of course, tells a much darker story. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more stories captured through time. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest releases. See you in the next video.